So all these hotels, so like while everybody was paying attention to the submarine and everything else that's going on in the news, every hotel that you go to when you go out of town, all the big name A-list ones, they all getting sued right now for trafficking kids. People finding floorboards with holes cut into tunnels, finding kids. So the reason why they found out somebody was at the Hilton, I think they was, I don't know what actual state, but they was at the Hilton. So they was wondering, like, she was trying to hang her coat up and her coat fell, but when it fell, it was like a little wire hooked on the coat. So she like, what the fuck? Come to find out it's a camera. So now she got to search in the room. They got little apps you can use on your phone to detect if it's cameras and all kind of shit. So she did that, found like 2 more, one in a little screw. She got to moving the furniture. One of the floorboards had like one of the pieces like cut out different from the shape of the whole design of the floor. When she pulled it up, her dude like, look, he put the camera down there and it's like a whole little walkway you can jump down and walk through to air connected to every room. So he jumped down, he walked all the way through and ended up finding some kids.
Did some people get arrested for that right there?
The people at the hotel, yeah, they got arrested for it.
Because this alien thing is something that people waited for so long.
But this is old news, Kima.
Yeah, it is old. It is old news. But like I was saying, what we were saying, the whistleblowing thing has been happening for months. You don't know when that information was brought up. The UFO information. You don't know when that was brought up to be put out. Whatever it is, I feel like people are so interested in this UFO business with the aliens that they don't even want to know about actual things that are going on in this world, because they're like, oh my god, there's things that are happening outside of our ecosystem. There's things that are happening outside of our that we don't know about. They're coming into our planet and things.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. I think that it's more connected than what we know, and they don't want us to find out about it. Because if it's hotels in different states, what else is involved in this? It's hotels.
It has to be government that's involved.
Exactly.
And
that's
why I think
they don't want to get exposed. Why is the government sex trafficking people? What's really the thing behind that?
And you know, I'm noticing that even with the UFOs that we talked about, now this is always going back to human trafficking. Right. Y'all catching that, right?
Right, exactly.
And that's the bit that they never want to talk about.
Right.
It's always going back to human trafficking. Yo, that's one of the oldest, like, evil fucking big man things that we've been doing all around the world for as long as we've been here, is trafficking other humans.
But I feel like it's deeper than that. People feel like spirituality isn't real or whatever, but I feel like spirituality is real, and that's a big part of it. And to see that we're having aliens and all of that stuff now, all of those is interconnected, and they don't want the public to know that, because the public's gonna get scared if they find out, quote unquote, that magic exists and stuff like that.
What does that have to do with human trafficking exactly?
They used the kids' blood in a certain type of way, because when they're scared, they I forgot what it's adrenochrome. They give off adrenochrome, and literally in Monsters Inc. that is exactly what they're doing.
Exactly.
When they scare the kids and they fill up those batteries, it's red. That's blood.
Now, even though she's bringing up an animated like movie, Monsters Inc. has so much real science in there. Yes, some of it is science that we don't actually have now, but it's based on real science. And that's actually something that I didn't think about, because that was one of the things that they were doing in Monsters Inc. that you kind of just like, oh, that's they're scaring them.
No, I didn't think that they were scary. Weird. I thought it was weird that they would fill up a battery. And this is the thing. Why is it red? They use the specific color. When the battery gets filled up, it's red. Yeah. Why, when you look at a normal battery, it's not red. It's just, it already has the energy inside of it. Which means that they're putting the energy, which is the adrenochrome, inside of the battery, and that's how they're fueling their planet. And the people don't really think deep enough into stuff to see why it is.
The sneaking around, going in the kids' room at night when they're sleeping. It's like, it's weird.
It's very, exactly. Dude, like, why would you do
that? Actually, the parallels between this hotel shit and Monsters Inc., there's a lot of parallels.
Exactly.
That's kind of scary. It makes me think too, like, I was just watching some religious dude talk about all this UFO shit, and you can easily compare angels and demons to aliens, right? It's easy comparison. But monsters, it's the same bit. Right? All of this is the scary thing that we don't know. The unknown, right? And I feel like when you keep looking at this unknown scary thing, what they are doing is the same thing that they're always doing in all the stories. They're kidnapping people, right? Aliens, they're taking people, they're probing, they're testing. Monsters Inc., they're killing people, they're probing, they're testing. Government, killing people, they're probing, they're testing. What the fuck is this? Like, what are we trying to tell ourselves in these stories? Or are we trying to warn ourselves in these stories?
Right.
Right?
What are they giving the kid?
Because the Monsters
aliens?
Inc. literally where they went to with their job was like the government. If you
It was their government.
It was exactly because
Yeah.
and then they had all
Exactly.
those. Then they had the aliens in the suit, and when you would get touched by the kids' products, it was a code 2319. What is that? Oh, people broke down what a 2319 was. I need to find that video because that was sick. That was sick. When they broke down what 2319 was, that was sick.
You can run that back later for sure.
So like, and that was their government. And then after they found out that a child was missing in their world, they shut down the whole entire their whole entire thing. They couldn't go nowhere.
You know,
I just think it's scary how at the end he basically sacrificed that child. That's basically what.
Oh yeah, he was
did.
trying. Yeah, he was what he was trying to do. What the conclusion that they came to is that they don't have to scare the children. They could have just made them laugh.
That's how.
You know, that's also a good point, right? It's all about the energy, right? And
exactly.
That's what she's saying about the spirituality.
No, I'm peeping that, and that's that malignant thought pattern that these monsters or aliens or whoever is in charge has. They want to keep us
in a state of fear.
Part of the reason why they're using fear is because fear is the best way to control us.
Right.
Fear is easy. It's easier to make somebody scared than to make somebody laugh.
Exactly, because in order to make someone laugh, you have to get to know them. You
That's
have to treat them like a person.
That's exactly what I said.
Right? You have to make them your equal in a way.
Right, they don't want you to be their equal.
Right.
Because let's be honest, if we find out that we are equal to them, I feel like it's deeper than that. If we find out that we're not equal to them, that we're actually superior to them, and that goes back to my theory of the melanin and all that, because we were here first, they're going to lose control. And they don't want to lose control. Because if we're back in control, the planet won't be controlled by energy and all this stuff. It will be just the natural planet how it was before, how we used to garden the earth. And they don't want that. They're going to lose money. They're not going to have the system run how it's running because we won't need them. We'll just grow shit in our backyard and live off the earth. And they don't want to lose that supply, which is the control.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, high conspiracy is... aliens already here, monsters already here, demons already here, right? And the reason why they really don't want all this stuff to come out is because they're already here.
Yeah, they've been here.
Right? And, like, what's the harm, the real harm in telling us, and showing us photos? What, government now has this stuff, so what, there's a new space race? Man, we've been through that already. We had the space race already. We know where that leads. All that leads is to innovation. That doesn't lead to war. Right? War is what led to that. Right? We can skip all that shit and be like, this is what we have. Right? Mm-hmm. Now let's make something new. Let's build something together. But they don't want to do that.
It's going to get deeper because I feel like we're going to find out that we're Earth like 213 and there's other Earths. And what if on those other Earths, we're so connected, right? When you dream about something, I would just use this as an example. And you dream about something and it hasn't happened to you, but you feel when you're dreaming, you feel like you're on another planet, right? What if that's you connecting to yourself on another planet, planet 214? They don't want that. They don't want you to meet yourself and gather information within yourself and stuff. It's everything is like crazy.
They say your higher self.
You know, that's a theory I had about omnipotence, that we aren't omnipotent in the way that God is omnipotent. God is all of us who are omnipotent, but we are omnipotent within ourselves. What does that mean? And this is why I agree with you. It means that if we believed in this and we studied and we did all this, but we have the power to see all of the information that our spirit is linked to.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which isn't all information, but it's omnipotent in a way because that's what it is. Like, you know everything, and everything is just all the universes.
Right. Exactly.
That's what people they don't believe in astrology and things like that.
All of that stuff is connected.
Your past life self can teach you things that you don't even know that can help you in this world and your future self as well.
Exactly.
People don't know that the connections of all those things.
I agree with that.
They put in your face Rick and Morty. How many Earths did Rick and Morty have?
Right.
How many Rick and Mortys were killed and they just went to another planet and picked another new Rick and Morty?
Exactly. And then in all these new movies that are coming up from DC, Marvel, they're going to different planets, going to different worlds. Why are they doing that?
Exactly.
And they're learning information about things that are going on in their world to help their world from other worlds.
Right. And then there's different Flashes. That the one of the Flash's enemies is himself from another planet.
I got another theory.
That was evil.
I don't know if that's true. Tell me what you guys think of this. Let's say there isn't other worlds, but you are connected to a reincarnated past of yourself. What I also think is that one Earth, our Earth, goes through cycles, and each cycle is a new set of people.
Yeah.
And that's what we also are connected to, right?
I think
because they keep saying, "Oh, civilization ended this way." Another civilization pops up, and that ended this way. And this, all right, we know that, but we don't actually have that much information on what those civilizations were. They're saying how the pyramids, and listen to me when I say this, they're saying how the pyramids weren't built by the Egyptians. The Egyptians that we consider Egyptians in time, right? In our timeline. Not the Egyptians before that, right?
Oh.
So this is why a lot of black people are like, oh, they're just trying to, dismiss that black people had the power to create all this. No, that's not what we're saying. What they're saying is that the pyramids seem to be so old, because it was still built in Egypt. So yes, technically Egyptians built them. But what they're saying is that these pyramids are so old that it just didn't make sense that they made them.
Right.
The ones that we are thinking about.
Right.
It was the civilization
before them.
And then they just saw that and used it.
Just keep going, build on top of that.
And it makes sense, right? Like,
yeah, it does.
Look, I don't know, man.
Because it makes sense because the tunnels in the pyramids are so low, so it had to be when the planet was first here, and then they just built on top of that as we kept evolving. And I think that theory is true, and that's why we keep running into the same people going through the same cycle, because the Earth goes through a cycle, and then we go back through the same cycle as well. We just meet the same people with the same spirit, but in different bodies.
You know why I believe this so hard? Because about how our planet and our civilization goes through these cycles. Because when you look at things on a small scale, it usually matches things on a really big scale, right? I'm not going to get into how that works. You guys should think about this yourself. But atoms compared to galaxies, like we've been trying to make this connection, and just because we're not smart enough yet to make this connection doesn't mean the connection isn't there. And when you look at this stuff, like how our brains look like how the energies work in the galaxy and all this other shit, right? It makes me think that, all right, let's take a step back and let's not just super focus on things we don't understand, but let's look at what we do understand. All right, so if things in the smaller is connected to the big, and we see that things on a small level repeat themselves, we make the same mistakes as humans. We all know that. How many people you know make one mistake and don't make that mistake again? It's real hard to find a person like that, and that's natural. But if you look at that in that small scale, what does that tell you on the big scale? Right? Chop, what do you think?
Well, there was a lot to unpack there. So if I can go back to the hotels for a minute.
Please do.
When it comes to human trafficking, humans are actually very valuable. And it's not just for sex trafficking. Like, organs are also very valuable, too. And they're on the black market all the time. So, like, I hate to also say it, if a white kid disappears, it's all over the goddamn news. Like, everywhere, you'll find Katie within 2 days, but there's so many black women who disappear that we don't talk about at all.
Because Katie, I'm not going to lie, Katie's not that important. The melanin is, I'm not going to lie. I'm really sticking with that theory.
We're talking about black people being trafficked because we are the most valuable people being trafficked, honestly.
And they want to make it seem like the white person is the one that's more valuable, but that's really not the case.
I can't say whether that's true or not. I do note that based on, like, white people, it is harder to take a white person off the street because of how the society is fucking set up, right? So even just taking that, it'll be easier to take black kids off the street.
But what if they set it up that way because the black kid is actually more valuable and the white kid is not? So they set it up that way so that the black kid can disappear without having a trace. Everything is very calculated, especially with the government.
I'm going to be real. Y'all really think they spent all this money to take all these humans across the water just to pick cotton?
No.
Right?
No cap.
Does that sound right to y'all?
No, it
doesn't.
No, that never sounded right.
That never sounded right to me.
They took them from that planet because they were doing something in there that was putting them out of power. It's all for a power thing.
Yeah.
Because when you go back, we were never a race to act like how we act now, which is very disheartening, but it's because of history and what they did. We were a loving race. We didn't do war. We did do war with other tribes, with other tribes and stuff, but the core of it was a loving tribe and community because of the practices that we had with religion. We didn't call it religion, but it's the practices
Europeans
that we
didn't have that tribal mentality.
Right.
And
they were savages.
The way kings were in Africa are not the same way kings are in Europe.
Yeah.
Right? The king in Africa was a part of the community.
Exactly.
Right? He had a place in the community. You go, like, back in the day, kings and stuff in Europe, from Europe and those other countries, Spain and whatnot, they weren't really a part of the community. They were displaced from the community.
Right.
And you know how many times you can go back and look at what you're taught in school and realize, oh, it was actually black people who taught them how to be clean? From the basic shit. Basic shit that they don't teach you.
Because they came from cavemen, though. That's why they have a man cave. Oh, I'm going to send you that video, too. I've been finding a lot of stuff on the internet. But they came from cavemen. That's why they came from being in the dark. That's why restaurants are in the dark, because they were in the caves. We were not like that. We were in trees, in the sun, and we soaked up the energy and all that stuff. Not them. They came from being basically like a wolf. That's how they grew up.
I do think that white people are an offshoot of black people. I do think they are. I don't think that like they were a separate thing and then came in.
The printer just ran out of toner. Okay, so wait, I just want to go back because I actually
our printer over there, you picking it up through the Wi-Fi.
She's talking about. She's talking about people.
That was a joke.
I just caught it.
Eyebrow.
I just caught it.
Okay, so what I did learn recently was that there was I don't know if it was a tribe in Africa, but I just know it was African women who were delivering babies like no issue, and it came to be that I found out that it was, I don't remember the name of the guy, but he started taking in black women and trying to experiment on them. And he was doing horrible practices, no anesthesia, and it was things what did they invented the chainsaw for birth.
What?
The chainsaw was invented for birth.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
You gotta send me that video.
Said the chainsaw
was originally invented for childbirth. It was originally invented for childbirth because they thought it was going to be easier just to get in that way. That was the first kind of C-section. But black women in Africa were doing it real easy, natural, no problems. And white people were the ones who were actually having issues, and they invented a goddamn chainsaw.
Wow.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to find that.
You gotta find that.
Yeah, you gotta find that. That's some high-tech information.
That don't even sound true, but you gotta find that.
I promise you, I found it. And it was mind-boggling. I'll find it and I'll send it to you guys.
But going back to what you said about them emulating what we did, that's why back in the day they had seers and all of those stuff, because that's what we naturally are. So they, as time goes on, they'll get the powers and stuff being mixed with us, and that's why they had seers and all of these different people around them to help them run their society. They got that from us. We had the elders. That was the seer. That was, the person that had all the knowledge.
Yeah. They did take a lot of structure from us too, from Egypt, which are black people. Just remember that.
Right.
People like to make it sound like Egypt was his own thing.
It
ain't, bro. It's Africa. Stop keeping it stacked, man. They all Africans over there. I'm
gonna say y'all this thing. They was so we know that Jesus is black, right? So he had dreads. So you see, all them bitches that was around him was giving him a retwist. I'm saying that. So Jesus had the hoes. So remember, you can have the hoes too. I would say y'all that.
You know what? That's pretty legit. That's pretty legit.
But if you look in the Bible, Jesus had nothing but women around him. So is it really that off? He was getting them retweets.
You know, I really think the whole story of Jesus is not exactly what we have, obviously, but I really think it's just obviously a black man, and he was a slave who stood up for other slaves. I think that's the real story. I think that's the real story. I think that's the truest version of the story, and it just got more grandiose over time.
I feel like it got grandiose over time because if you add in, I'm going to always say spirituality and stuff. Yeah, it gets crazy because I feel like I've been preaching this. I feel like Jesus was a Pisces. Yeah, and Pisces are very spiritually connected and very spiritually tapped in. So I feel like you said, he was a slave that stuck up for other slaves, but he had the intellect and intuition and all that stuff he probably had dreams and things like that. Right. He see how to get out of it.
I'll take it a step slaves further, and all that stuff. Right. And I think instead of actually having superpowers and all that stuff that you see I think he just found the technology that other people didn't understand, like how the pyramids were always there, wherever they were in the world. This stuff was all over the world. The burning bush, the idea of, and when I say technology, it could have been like plants that he found that enlightened him. But my point is, he found whatever technology it was to help him become enlightened. What you said?
She said like Dr. Sabi. Yeah, because he turned water into wine. And how do we make wine now? You just step on a whole bunch of grapes.
Word.
You know, so
right. So the whole thing about turning water into wine, I feel like all that is just they probably had a real convoluted way of making wine. He simplified it.
Yeah,
I like that. That's what I think.
Step on them grapes.
Like you step on grapes. You step on them grapes, bro. Watch this.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. But let's check this other video out real quick because I wanted to. What was that? I don't make wine. Stepping on the grapes. I don't make wine.
Here's my blender for you.
Word.
Yeah.
You know, Jesus doing his thing.
She went to take her daughter in the bathroom, and then she seen the man sitting inside of the stall waiting for a kid to go in there by himself at the park to take a kid. Yes.
All right, no.
I also remember being mad that she also watched other kids go into the bathroom without saying anything.
Yeah, dumbass.
She watched other kids go into the bathroom after that not saying.
She dumb as fuck.
I don't care. When I'm at the park,
if y'all seen some shit like this, what would y'all do?
I'd go sue. I'm taking it right to the government. Yeah. Y'all show me the shit in the back. That's exactly what I'm going. Take me to the stuff and show me the shit in the back. Take me to that airport where everybody always go missing and everybody thinks all the shuttles is underneath. I'm going right in that airport and I'm telling y'all, take me to the back. Yep. Or I'm exposing y'all.
I'm gonna be real.
Oh no.
You heard it.
I want
first.
10 mil.
I would see something like that. The first thing I'm gonna be like, I heard a scream, which is giving me a reason to be back there, right? I heard a scream. I went back there. I seen people, and I had to defend myself because I'm going back there. I'm killing everybody. Everybody I can get my hands on.
You're killing everybody. You're not gonna get to the good stuff. This is the beginning. I'm asking for 10 mil to shut the fuck up and take me to the back because I want to see the other real shit. I want to see the elephants that's mixed with aliens that y'all got back there. The Lilo and Stitch, the experiments. Shit. Take me to the back. I want to see the real stuff. I want to see the real stuff.
I don't think they got that shit at the hotels.
I'm not going.
No, they don't. They got. I'll tell you where I'm going.
Back to a hotel.
I would give me 10 mil.
People think that B&Bs is better. That's
even worse because there's cameras and all that stuff that they expose
people
in
like
there too.
Whatever people do, people are weird. You don't know.
I'm gonna be real. Keep it stacked. I'd rather people Tom than that shit. I'd much rather a peeping
Oh yeah,
Tom
that
than
shit right there.
Like peeping Tom, he just oh, look at that.
Yeah.
But this dude, these guys are taking people, son.
Yeah, they give me 10 mil and take me to the good stuff.
Like
that's not the good stuff.
Disgusting, man.
I only got 2 kidneys.
But that
I need somebody taking one.
it's giving ritualistic. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
It's giving really ritualistic.
It's giving me those vibes. Like it's giving me those vibes.
It is.
First of all, who puts that type of wall in a hotel room?
They already exposed it in like 2008 and all of that stuff with Hostel.
Yeah.
They stayed in hotels, and this is exactly how
facts.
it looked.
Facts. That's exactly what they were doing in Hostel.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that thing? Did y'all see that thing on... Ah, damn. That fucked me up.
That was spooky.
No.
Because they watching
Damn
us. They watching us. They always watching us. We're always watching. Always watching you.
Fuck. I hate when I lose my train of thought. But anyway.
Monsters Inc. is really...
Yeah.
You'll get it again. I feel like.
Oh
Monsters Inc. though, when you look at their logo, it's an eye.
Right.
And at the end, she said... What?
Y'all heard about how the UN was founded by Satanists?
Yeah.
The UN.
The UN
Wait, really?
was founded by these Satanists. I'll pull this video up later.
Certain Satanists are not bad though. There's 2 different types of Satanists.
Yeah, I told you this, right?
Yeah.
I know this, right? But they had the Satanists that founded it with a company called Lucifer, right? Or some shit like that. And then they shortened it to, this is real. It's Luce something. But it's not Lucifer. It's Luce something. I'm going to pull it up. This is real because this is still there at the UN. The black box, right? And that's where they go to pray and shrine and all that shit. But my point is, when you look at the rules that these people placed in the UN, it's fucking evil, man.
Yeah.
It's about like making sure the population doesn't go to a certain size.
Didn't I send that video you were Kamala Harris saying, she basically saying to reduce the population? Something.
I'm hearing that a lot too. I'm hearing Bill Gates talk about that shit. I'm hearing look, this has been...
There's one villain I agree with, and it's Thanos, because some of y'all gotta go. I'm sorry. Some of y'all gotta go.
Yeah, somebody need to be snapped out of existence. I'm not even kidding about that one.
Lie.
But it makes me wonder, because birth rates has gone way down. Now, we can say it's a natural thing because the population size has grown so much.
But
we
that hasn't happened since 2020.
No, people not having no kids because we're poor.
I was about to say, because kids
or
because
we're
and
poor.
then eggs is going up. Ain't nobody got time for no kids.
Exactly. You can sell your eggs and make more money than to have the kids.
But I'm gonna be real.
People rather buy.
That's actually the opposite of how things go, guys. The poorer you are, the more kids you have.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's how I was looking. That's how I was looking around the hood.
The poorer you are, the more kids you have, right? And you, right? But nowadays I'm hearing it. They switching it. Oh yes, if you have the money, you can have more kids. I'm like, that's not how it used to be.
Well, because when you were poor, you
that?
didn't have many other options for birth control, but they also took that away. So
you're not going to get no $50 plan B when you need $50 to feed them kids at home.
I kind of also feel like whatever they're putting in the foods is designed to make us less fertile.
Fertile, yeah.
Like I really do. I also feel like this movement to support trans people. I know this sounds left field.
No.
You feel like this movement to support trans people is all a part of this.
Yeah.
Like
because their pills literally stop you from feeling any sexual feelings and you cannot feel growth or nothing. You basically are just, you could just say you're a girl or say you're a guy. You can't even have sex.
And they're trying to make it illegal for parents to not agree with them.
Right.
They'll take your kids away in certain states.
It goes back to the spirituality thing. It goes back to the spirituality thing because I feel like they're trying to swap people's destinies. So once you swap people's sex, you swap out their destiny, and you can literally live the riches. Right, you can live the riches of their life. They know certain people are going to be rich because they're into astrology and they're into numerology. They can look at your birth chart and they can look up where your fortune is, if you're going to be fortunate in this life or if you're going to be fortunate in the next life, and they don't want your your bloodline to continue, if you're going to be more fortunate than them in the next life. It's real shit. It's no cap. And numerology as well, your life path number and all of that.
I think what it is too is more like they don't want you to live to your full potential.
That too.
Yeah.
Like, they are afraid of your potential. Everyone's potential. Right? I think that's what it is. And by switching your destiny...
Everybody don't got potential. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. And I'm just going to keep it a stat. I look at some of y'all birth charts, and I look at some of y'all birth charts, and I'll be like, you're a dud. Yeah. You're here to be a karmic, and you're here to stop people from doing what the fuck they really supposed to do. A lot of people don't have potential. It's really a select few.
It is a select.
I believe everybody has some kind of potential. Now, potential to do what is the thing, right? I'm not saying everybody has potential to be a genius. I'm not saying everybody has potential to be rich. I'm not saying everybody has potential to be that motherfucker. I'm just saying, whatever it is that you are, you have potential to be more of that.
They want more of the idiots. They want more of the egotistical.
I agree with that. They want more idiots on this planet than they do smart people. I fucking totally agree with that.
That's why they want y'all to switch y'all sex and be so confused and focus on that instead of focusing on the other things.
All right, guys. Let us know in the comments below what y'all think about this whole hotel shit. This whole human trafficking shit. Like, is this... It used to be conspiracy, but we finding proof. We finding proof.
Aliens used to be a conspiracy. They're saying aliens is real. So y'all need to start waking up. And what else is a conspiracy?
Exactly.
Like the Mandela effect, which is them going back in time and changing shit. How real is that? We're going to find out 10 years from now they built the time machine. Exactly. And it was a fucking car like that movie, and that's how they went back in time. I'm telling you, y'all gonna be
how long was all these conspiracy about the presidential assassinations and all that shit? I can't remember his name. Not Jefferson. JFK and all shit. Conspiracy, and now it's it's not conspiracy. We'll give you the information, and they still haven't given us the information.
Right.
They're hiding shit from us.
Yeah,
they
MLK
always hid shit from us.
MLK.
Wake the fuck up.
Mandela.
They have pictures of JFK shaking hands with aliens and things.
Yeah, and then what you call him, Nelson Mandela, him dying in prison, and now all of a sudden he didn't die in prison. He became president.
Right.
Why did you make him become president?
Right.
You gave us a pillar of hope so that we wouldn't get revenge of him dying in jail.
Right.
Y'all going back and changing shit for
died,
what?
He became a martyr, and something probably happened that they
didn't want to happen. Exactly.
It probably was an uproar, and everybody came
together, and they left that part out of the history books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
I can say what y'all want. Like, we talk about conspiracy, but
when
I think about it be adding up.
Right.
It should be adding up. So.
And we probably overturned them, and that's what, and that they didn't want that to happen. So they went back in time. Let's take him out, guys. Listen, the end result is not the end result we thought we were going to have. So we got to do this different. So it changes other things, like the different cereals that people think to create, because everything is energy. Everything comes from your mind. So tricks, if you go back and change that one thing, the person is not going to think to make tricks like that. They're going to think to make tricks something else because the energy of the planet shifted. They keep going back and changing shit and shifting shifting the energy. That's why when you wake up, you feel like you're back in 2008 timeline, or you wake up another day, you feel like, what timeline is this? This is not the same timeline that I was on yesterday.
I feel like that every day is 2019 today. Oh, you're not from this timeline. You're not from this earth. But she be telling me things. I'm like, that's not how it happened. This is how it happened.
That's how I feel a lot of the time. And I feel a lot of the time like, I don't know when, I feel like
it's cool to meet another you.
I feel like I got switched out when I was young. I know that's something. I've not a changeling, but I feel like whatever happened, and here's something I truly believe in. I feel like as you have the ability to shift.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I think it's more difficult to shift into realities that's more different than the one that you came from. Mm-hmm. Because of how energy works. The more different that reality, the more different the energy is, and the harder it is to plunge into that reality.
Because it's harder for you to get on that vibration. That's why. You have to
same thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
basically you have to higher your vibration, lower your vibration, and all depends on what you're vibing at.
Speaking about that makes me think about that movie Us, and how The little
us, where they switched the little girl out.
They
had the clones and they switched her out.
I'm sure I've seen this. I can't remember.
But
it was Lupita, and she was in like that red jumper.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
And basically they switched her low vibrational self out to the world and took her high vibrational self in there. And then did she switch back at the end, or did her low vibrational self took over, right?
Yeah.
But what is that telling you? They don't want us to vibe high. They want us to be low vibrational. It'll because when you're low vibrational, there's more people that attract. When you start vibing high, people start falling off.
Down, and it's
your circle gets smaller. You don't fuck with certain people. You feel weird. You can't be in the same energy as them when you start vibing high. That's why too you start attracting different people. You start attracting your real soulmate, because it's so easy when you're low vibrational to attract a mate. Once you get higher, it's hard for you to get into a relationship because you look at people different, because you're not looking at them from a face value level. You're looking at them from emotional level or
it's like a soul thing.
Right, a soul level.
You feel different. Right.
Right.
Yep.
Do you feel like that, Serena? Like while you were dating?
There was definitely a level, at least for me when I started dating, was a level of immaturity. I had no idea what I was doing or what I was looking for even. But, I mean, once you start to get to know people, you start to feel exactly what you want and what you can and cannot deal with. And there's some people that just don't make sense or don't fit in your life. So you kind of have to figure out who should be in that space next to you. Because love really is, you fall in love, yes, but a long-term relationship, love is a choice. You have to choose to love that person every single day.
That's all about life.
Stay safe, you guys. And if you guys ever seen any creepy things in a hotel, comment that down below.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, the bed sheets.
Creepy shit, I want to know.
These children are not just kidnapped and in some cases bred by families as a cash crop. We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them. And when they are sold, they come without birth certificates, which means it's easier to kill them and have no one ask where they are. We're also importing children by the plane load. Again, children who have no documentation. It's not just child slavery or child sex abuse. It's also child torture, because you have adrenalized blood. You have the whole blood drinking ceremony of the satanic world. And then you have ritual ceremonies and ritual murder, as well as incidental murder. The other working assumption is, how long do these children survive within this system? What I am hearing from the witnesses that I've talked to is 2 years. It may be longer. It may be 4 years. It may be 6 years. But by and large, these children are so abused. I mean, we're talking rapes by the hour and so forth, that they reach their expiration date within 2 years. And then they're murdered with impunity, or they're ritually murdered if that's what they've been bred for.